after that with an eye on Zymox for after that. So Dark Vein should be relatively familiar at this point, but we've made a few tweaks to the positioning, and we'll kind of quickly recap tactics as well, just to make sure everyone is up to date and feels confident. And with that, do we want to start clearing trash?
We can get trashy.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Do it.
All right, let's prioritize Delpina, so lady in the big jacket.
Soak.
Yep, if you see those red circles, just jump in them with your pals. Help soak that. We'll make sure at least one person is in it.
Exie was on it. She did great.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, loot your trash.
Nice.
Congrats.
Nice cloak.
Awesome.
Very good start.
Let's move to laser beams.
Love the needles.
Yep, just remember if you're getting orbs, you need to make shapes. Same as last time. Alrighty.
Oh, congrats, Muka.
Thank you. And that was a good upgrade.
Damn.
Auctions for 129,000 cash.
Double upgrades before we even pull the boss. Congrats.
Nice.
Alright, so I'm going to make sure everyone gets their buffs done now.
We'll put down a cauldron. Cauldron right over here.
Just grab one for now and take it. Also, she's now targetable, so if you do happen to have a Vantus rune, it is now usable.
Feast is up.
Cool.
I'm digging the Kratos vibes.
Also, the upgrade was not the cloak was not an upgrade for our rogue or an awesome rogue. So we are going to roll on that. If it is an upgrade for you, please go ahead and roll. I'll link it right now in Raid. Wait till I link it, and then everybody can roll.
Everybody got in their flask?
Holy cow, Pokewing.
Damn.
I don't think anyone's gonna beat you.
Nice.
You want
Really
it back.
wanted that.
She wants it bad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Can you tell?
Oh,
I
goodness.
was literally not hoping for it at all, so that was pretty funny. That's why I used my
Dice
the
know.
dice. Yeah, they do. The dice know. Pokling, were you able to get items out of the guild bank for the raid tonight? Because you have not been promoted to raider yet. Because this is your first raid with us. Were you able to get the armor kits and the stuff like that? Okay, since it's your first raid, I'll give you a quick rundown. Tab 3 of the guild bank is for raiders only. On raid night, I'll put one more down just in case for other people that haven't got them. It's tab 3. You should be grabbing 2 armor kits, whatever oils you prefer, and then a stack of whatever potions you prefer. So there are a few pre-pot sort of things in here that work with the oil. There's also, if you are a healer, mana potions of different types. If not, there are healing potions. Everybody can grab 3 stacks of things, but that way we do not have to give them out before raid, and they should be being used during the entire raid.
Actually, too late. The feast just went away.
Put on your armor kits, put on your oil. Grab a second potion if you've already gotten one. Since it's still up, we don't want these to go to waste. Alright, looks like they're gone. Alright, back to Finlock.
All right, so I have spent part of my weekend drawing maps. So we had a look at the fight and the way it went last time, and we've adjusted where we're going to be tanking and sticking to DPS to make things a little easier, just kind of based on our findings. And so if I can borrow a volunteer to stick down some symbols, either smoke or sun, as I'm going over stuff.
I got it. I'm
okay.
grabbing your map right now.
Essentially, the main thing to cover that's going to be different this time is mostly going to be for the melee DPS and the tanks. So we're going to be tanking Dark Vein more towards the front, like our side of the platform that she's on. So much closer to the rest of the raid. And then we're going to be spawning in the Shade Ad just to the right of where she's being tanked. The reason for that is A, to make it easier for the melee DPS to cleave. And also we were just finding that there was the occasional distance and line of sight issue with how far back she was, and it was also making tank swapping a lot more difficult. So she'll be tanked basically slightly to the left of that skull. That skull is where we're going to be spawning in the ads. So I'm going to recap the way that we're going to approach this very, very briefly, if that sounds good to everybody. So there are 4 big containers you can see. We dealt with this last week, but I'm just going to recap this to refresh your memories because it's January the 4th, and I don't know about you, but my brain feels like a jar of peanut butter. So there are 4 containers. The boss is going to gain and lose abilities depending on the level of anima sitting in those containers. They are all going to start at 0s, but they are going to increase, and they're going to add and subtract abilities to this boss fight at 33% and 66%. So we're going to get very minor versions of whatever they're doing very early on, but then as it ticks up past that 33 and 66% mark, we're going to have more and more stuff to deal with. Occasionally, she is going to force fill one of them very, very high to about 75%. That's unavoidable. We can't stop it, and it can't be interrupted. So don't waste your cooldowns. But essentially, what it means is we'll have to deal with, for most of this fight, almost every single one of them in that sort of full state. These tankers can be drained, which Sun and Smoke will be doing. However, while they're being drained, the whole raid is going to take kind of light ticking damage. So that ticking damage is going to have to be mitigated. The healers are going to do their best to get it, but what's really, really important to make sure that you don't end up getting caught at like 20% health and then you run into a mechanic and you die, is to make sure that you can top yourself up or use damage mitigation whenever it is necessary. The boss is going to start focusing on the leftmost container, and then she's going to move, in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4. She does this every time she loses about 25% health. Hold on a second. I'm getting a load of really weird sound effects out of WoW right now. Give me a second. There we go. I turned off all my other sounds apart from pet sounds, and in this raid, oh my god, that is loud. The first tanker is Exposed Desires. It's essentially going to give her the ability Warp Desires, so she's going to be able to place a very, very heavy dot on the tank. So the tank's going to need swap occasionally at 33%. She's going to give a debuff to a random one of us that isn't the tank. It's a slightly less fun dot for us because it essentially duplicates all the damage that the tank is currently receiving. So when DBM flags that, healers will just need to kind of focus some efforts to keep that person up as a duplicate, effectively, of one of the tanks. At 66%, there is also going to be an explosion based around that debuff. So when Warp Desires hits one of the tanks, they're going to need to run as far away from everybody else as possible so they can safely explode and not deal tons of damage to people. The ideal thing, if we're tanking a Nerva at the very tip of that platform, is for the tank just to run right to the back of the balcony, and they should be fine. Second container on the left is Bottled Anima. This is the one that's very familiar to everybody. She basically throws a bottle to the ground. You'll know the bottle's going to hit the ground because there's going to be a red circle on the floor. It needs to be soaked by one person. If it isn't, the whole raid takes about 33% of the health and damage. It's really significant. Last week we had one person run in, and then they stepped out at the very last second, and it burned through a lot of healer mana and led to a wipe. So I want to avoid that this time. So even if 2 of you run in at the same time, don't panic. Don't run out. We would rather have 2 people run in at the same time than have one person run and then, they die to a freak accident or something else goes wrong and we all take damage. So at 33%, the Bottled Anima is also going to drop a lasting AoE on the ground. That's going to stick around for a really long time. So we're going to need to have to manage around that over the course of the fight. And at 66%, the bottle bounces. So it's going to hit one location and a second location. Effectively, we're going to get 2 red rings instead of 1. And over on the right here, don't know why I felt the need to actually run my character to the right, but here we are. we're going to have lesser sins and suffering. So essentially, this is the beams and the maker shape thing. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, you'll have seen this in the videos and the guides. It's a little more mechanically, it's a little more fiddly than the videos sometimes make it look. Essentially, 3 people are going to get red orbs above their heads, and then we're going to get 3 red orbs in the room. And you will basically need to make the same triangle with you as the points of the triangle that is appearing on the floor. So you will need to basically each run to an orb. Usually we find that there's kind of 2 up the front and 1 at the back, which is why I put a warlock gate here. It's just if you find that you're needing to run to the back one, you're low on time, just gate over and get it done. As the vat becomes more full, there's going to be a beam that appears between the 3 of you that is going to hurt people who run through it quite a lot. So just this isn't just on the people making the shape. The people making the shape, their priority is to make that shape. If you are standing there and there's a beam coming towards you, please run backwards or move. Don't get clotheslined by it unnecessarily. And at 66%, the beams detach and basically just rotate. They're like, if you've ever played old Super Mario and you've seen like the rotating lines of fireballs that you have to kind of jump over and jump around, it's kind of like that. There's just like a big sort of rotating beam on every single one of them, so they're far more irritating. Thankfully, we should only get a version of that once towards the end of the fight. But yeah. The last one is we're going to end up with lightly concentrated anima, which is every minute or so you're going to get 10-second dot on 3 players, and it explodes upon expiration, which summons an ad. It's going to summon just 1 ad in normal difficulty. So essentially what's going to happen is one of you is going to get a big red circle around you. At 33%, you're going to be able to run around with it. So you're going to run to that skull, you're going to stand there, the mob's going to spawn, and then all the DPS is going to switch to that mob, burn it down, and go back to the boss. That's it. 66%, it's, from 33%, it's a little more difficult in that you get rooted in place. So this is why we kind of want all the ranged DPS and the healers to be by that second green gate, because it's going to keep you from being so far back that the whole raid has to turn around. Which is going to cause line of sight issues. So you might be stuck in place, but everyone else needs to just kind of adjust, move around them, and we should be okay. At 66%, when it expires, we're going to get a bunch of red orbs appearing all over the room, which are going to hurt people when they hit. Hopefully, we should be able to burn her down before that point, but if so, just be aware that like very, very large red orbs on the floor, not the ones over your heads, but the very, very large ones, are explode damage in an AoE. So essentially it's just about these 4 jars. There's a lot of stuff that's going to go on. It does seem like a lot, but because it kind of moves in phases, you'll get used to the fact that, you know, phase 1 is going to be the tanks kind of moving in and out. Phase 2 is going to be us watching for bottles. Phase 3 is going to be us dealing with ads. Occasionally, we might get 2 of the jars at, you know, about 33% or 33 and 66 at the same time. If so, we'll just be sure to call those mechanics out as and when we go, but just really be proactive. Like if you have a cookie and you're like, my health feels a bit low, pop it. Don't wait until the opportune moment. Just be paranoid with your health in this fight, because it's really, really easy for people to get one shot by 2 things happening to them at the same time. And and just kind of be proactive. So I will call out mechanics as we go, but be watching Deadly Boss mods. It will literally tell you and put things above your heads if you have like a shape to make, or you're the person that's going to spawn the ad. Just try and make sure that you're kind of on top of that, and we'll run through it. Okay. Does anyone have any specific questions? Does anyone have any concerns?
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want me to do another gate, and where would you like it?
That's a good question. We should be good with one. I think what might help actually is if we notice that we're getting a ton of AoE on one side and it's making it really difficult for us to move through a space, I would just say proactively put one down as and when that happens.
Okay, I'll look out for it then.
Alrighty. So, if we all feel relatively good about it, we'll get to work and we'll start bringing it down. Alright, if we could get a ready check.
Give me one sec.
Alright. Mage, did you manage to get your flask put on?
No, it says you don't have one on still.
Ah, I see it. It looks to me like you clicked the potion instead of the flask.
Do you have one?
Did you get a flask?
Alrighty. Seems like we're good. So let's get into position. Franny and David, Catherine, Lion's Mane, your tanks this evening. I kind of sound like I'm announcing them like musicians at a jazz bar. I think that's fine.
We'll be
gonna
your
run with
tanks
that.
this evening.
Yeah, that or like
Arms
airline
and legs
stewards.
inside the vehicle. And enjoy the
Better
show.
than being at an open mic.
Just remember, and I'm going to say this very clearly so the DPS can hear me, and I know this is going to be difficult for you to hear, but you do need to hear it. Your DPS meter is secondary to moving out of stuff and dealing with mechanics. I know it's very tempting, and I know sometimes it's very frustrating if you're popping a DPS cooldown and right as you're about to benefit from it, you then have to move out the way of a thing. But please move, because these fights are so much easier if everyone's doing mechanics. And yes, so I appreciate it. I get it 100% more than anybody else. Trust me, I watch my own DPS meter when I'm trying to both talk through this thing and at the same time, so I get it. But yeah, prior 1 is mechanics, prior 2 is killing stuff. All right. Countdown whenever you feel good.
5,
So
4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
all right, ranged and healing up into this sort of little diamond in front of the stage, and melee, you know where you are.
Make sure to remember to call out when she's at like 80%. So Sun can be sure to drain tank too.
Okay, bottled anima is up. Someone can run into those red circles. Okay, shapes are coming up. Get ready to make shapes. There we go. All right, you three, Go make the shape. There's one up here near us.
Taunting.
Back up a little. Just gotta thread through. There you go.
3, 2, 1.
We are closing in on, well, I would say about now, son.
Nope, bring that
No,
to
towards
the
us,
tank.
towards
bring
us.
that to the
Yeah,
tank.
to the skull.
Taunting.
Opening tank 1.
And
or
picking
tank
up
2.
the ad.
All right, nuke the ad, please. Okay, 3 people, make the shape. Need 1 person up front by the skull.
How many stacks are you at, Lion?
At 3.
Taunting.
Bottled anima,
Just
someone
one
getting those.
Opening tank 1.
She is at 70% currently.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, concentrated anima is coming, so if it comes on you, please run to the skull. Okie dokie, Firmino, run to the skull. Thank you, guys. Okay, get ready to switch DPS to the ad and switch. Burn it down. If you're getting very low, please use a cookie. Thank you, son.
We do have a bit of AoE on the ground where the ad goes, so just watch your feet.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, beams are coming in about 7 seconds. So you just gotta get ready to make the shape if it's you.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, they're about to start.
The warlock portal's gone.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
fix.
Taunt.
I got it.
Got him.
Lust.
Opening tank 2.
Whoa.
What just happened?
There was one behind us. Nobody got.
Getting sun up. Moving to the skull.
I'll get ad.
Okay.
Make the shape.
Taunting.
I'm dead.
Make sure your line is going through the orb. Rise.
2 of the people are dead.
Yep.
Three, 2, 1.
Okay, make shapes. Oh, yeah. People don't. Yeah. Let's let this one go, folks. Just stand in the red stuff. So it looks like we got bottled anima behind us, but significantly enough that despite being very zoomed out, nobody saw. Which is definitely not a place I've seen it spawn in before, but we'll compensate from that. That was a really, really good attempt. Honestly, bar that one missed ring, everything went super, super smooth. Everyone was dealing with mechanics correctly. That was great. That was like a huge, huge improvement on last week's attempts. I think literally had it not been for that ring, I think we would have been okay. What I will point out as well is you will have noticed around the time that we wiped that those beams started rotating. That's what I'm talking about. It does mean a lot more movement than you would think. It's actually probably, if anything, if you're worried about it, maybe a little smarter to just kind of move and see if you can outrange them safely. But just bear in mind that that's a balancing act, so it means you won't be able to benefit from AoE healing as easily as you would if you were kind of in the middle of the room, but we'll have to sort of balance that as we go. All right. So we're just going to do a refresh on food. Everything else should have stayed on you through death.
I got lost.
Look for the sparkly dragon. That's where the feast is.
I mean, I got lost in the raid.
I will put up a closet the moment I'm done eating.
I'm out of range. I need to target.
I think what got me is when I stood to make the triangle, all of a sudden I took like a huge amount of damage. I don't know if that was the beam or something, or I don't know what I did wrong on that one.
Yeah, you can't pass through the beam of the triangle. You have to go around the outside of it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, see it as like a garrote wire kind of thing.
But they have to match up, right? Or they can't touch or something.
Let's do our demonstration we did last time. Someone else please put down a guild banner. Alright, let's say that myself and Failnot have to get them done. We have to have these beams going through each orb. So each one of us is going to have to be responsible. You can't be to the side. We can be really far back too. It's not you. It's just the beam. So the beam has to go through the orb. If the banners were the orbs, we have 3 banners up right now. We have more than that. All they have to do is pass through the orb. The actual orb. Your line that is on you. So all 3 orbs have to have a line going through them. You don't even have to stand, like I said, close to the banner. I could be way back here. As long as my little beam is going through the orb, we're good to go.
All right, I think I get it now. I think, and I accidentally stood on it. I think maybe that's why I took so much damage, I think.
Alrighty. Melee DPS and tanks, was that positioning better? Like, was it easier to swap and to move out stuff?
Worked just fine for me.
Cool. All right. Alrighty.
As soon as we hit 50%, any of you shaman, if you notice before one of us calls it out, just hit lust, because that 3rd phase starts as soon as 50% hits, and that is the most dangerous phase from 50 to 25%, because if we wait too long, those orbs, the beam will start spinning around them. It won't even make a triangle. It'll be a spinning beam, and it's fucking hard to get through. So as soon as she hits 50%, Lust has to go off immediately so we get through that phase as soon as possible.
Yep. And then last thing is just if you do get that big red circle on you, sometimes it does take a couple of seconds to notice with all the other stuff going on, but just run for the skull. And then because if we know exactly where it's going, it means we can get everyone else out of the way, and it should go nice and smoothly. But you'll get used to it as you go. All right, let's run a ready check. I think we just need a fort buff on Jeffrey, and then we're good to go. Thank you very much.
We need a what on me?
Food
A
buff.
fort buff.
I have a food buff on me.
Sorry, no, I
Yeah,
misheard.
fortitude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Accent clash.
One more second.
Just a reminder to everybody, the reason why it's taking a little bit longer is we're trying to make sure everyone has the end chance so we have the best chance of doing this. You guys really do need to make sure that if you need end chance, you let us know. Both Smoking Heart and Skull Diggity both have all the enchants you're going to need, so if you get a new piece of gear while you're out doing mythics during the week, don't hesitate to shoot them a message in-game or over Discord. If you can get your stuff enchanted before we are actually in here doing things, we're going to move a lot faster, and it's a really nice thing for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, it's not a nuisance. Don't worry about it. Just so if you ever get a new thing, just we would rather have you be your best selves. And I like sending people gifts, so I win either way. All right. Seems like we're good. Do you want to run a countdown, and we'll get sorted?
Yeah, you ready for a pull timer?
Yep.
Five, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
First bottle anima is coming in. Alright, someone's already in it, so we're good. Okay, the beam is coming up, so get ready if you're going to be making shapes. Alright.
I have 3 stacks if you want to taunt. Awesome.
Okay, Sun X Kimoka. Perfect, well done, really good job. Bottled anima coming in.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, Truff, over to the skull. Bottled anima, we seem to be good on that. And kill the ad. 74%.
Do we need to taunt swap line?
I think you can kill that ad before you swap.
There we go, done.
Opening first container.
Okay, shapes are about to start. Just make sure you're not standing in the middle of anything. Okay, beams. So, Mage, Smoke, Thwacky.
Either.
Good job. Well done.
Taunting.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, moving to the skull. Add spawning and switch. We are approaching 50%. Ad is down. Beam, Esri, Kobe, Truff. Make the shape. Use your cookies if you have to.
Taunting.
Opening 2.
3, 2, 1.
Bottle Dynamo. Yep. We're overdue for an ad, so just be aware. Shapes are coming up.
Lust was popular.
Shapes on
early,
X
so we're
keys,
probably
Sun,
gonna have to swirl it.
Mage. Lust went up to 50, I think.
Nope.
It didn't. I hit it early.
Okay. Just be careful of that red thing while it spawns. Bolt Dynamo coming in. We need to get into that. Burn the ad down, please. You can start using your DPS cooldowns now. Alright, shapes. I'm heading for the back one. Shape.
I've got the one by the diamond.
Shape is done.
Opening tank 1.
She is at 30%.
Pusher, pusher, pusher. 5 more %. We won't get those for
Bolt Dynamo. Shapes are coming in.
2, 1.
Use pots if you need if you start losing health. Alright, we are getting spinning beams. Be very careful. Okay, shapes need to be made. Someone has a shape on them and isn't running out. Okay, just watch these beams. Ad is coming in and spawning. Very good job on shapes.
Hey, I'm gonna taunt her if you want to pick up the ad.
Go ahead.
Ad. Shapes coming in. Sun, Kobe, Thwacky. Alright, cooldowns, cooldowns, cooldowns. Use pots if you need, if you're worried about health.
2, 1.
Okay, add, move to the skull. Oh yeah, she's static. It's fine. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Just get ready to deal with this ad behind us.
I've
Bolt
got the
Dynamo.
ad.
There's a circle.
Good
Okay,
job.
get the ad down and kill the boss. Just burn that ad down. Alright, kill her. Make the shape.
3, 2, 1.
Nice.
Great job.
Yay!
Good job.
Done.
Oh, and congratulations, Kobe, on your memory.
Congrats.
Dude. Sorry.
Now the question is, did you need that ring?
Nicely
I
done.
did.
Can
Then
I
congrats.
go hearth back really quick? Because that's going to unlock a soulbind roll for me.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I will
We'll
be
summon
right
you
back.
right back.
You can summon me back. Thank you. The problem of changing covenants.
Yeah, but you did it because you want to be an awesome tank, and that's totally, we're grateful for it.
Thank you.
Also, Pythagoras is a dick.
Hey, this reminds me. We had there was last year there was a similar fight like this in Final Fantasy 14, except instead of geometry, we had to do math because there was a mechanic that you had to have the boss reduced you to 1 health, and there were pools that either added or subtracted your health, and you had to match your health to whatever the boss called out with similar difficulties.
Alrighty.
Come along, peoples.
Oh, thank God you know where you're going.
Yeah, because I have no idea where we're going.
I really don't, but I have an idea of where I'm going. So,
I'll go back where we started.
yep, we're gonna go to the right this time.
He's a country boy. They got a good sense of direction.
Not my relatives.
Oh,
I
you should
think
never give me a map.
I think I'm ready to be summoned back. So thank you all very much.
Where's the closet?
We
It's
will
cool.
once we get there.
Let's get to where the trash is, and then we'll do the summon form.
Okay.
I had a list of weird questions to ask today, but I forgot them.
Someone's left eye to see the rooms you've seen.
In the meantime, check out Phil and I's new show called What the Fuck Did They Say? Starring Felnut and myself, where you try to figure out what the fuck we're saying.
Here we are.
They're trash.
Yep, here's some trash.
That just improved my ignore pain by like 10%.
Nice.
Nice.
Who is talking?
All right.
Because I honestly can't
That was
can't
Franny.
see. Okay,
Franny?
I'm so sorry, Franny, but like
the warrior in your raid.
Well, I've got the little side thing where everybody's name is for Discord, and yours wasn't lighting up.
Oh no, it's okay. Sorry, Jan.
Yes, Franny is the warrior in the raid.
The one with ignore pain. Yes. At me. I am also. Yeah, I think we're all the warriors in the raid. That's quite true. Thank you for the summon back. Hopefully, I will be slightly more. Is it a heal?
Not squishy.
I think we lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
Zero. Give me a second.
No, but we can't give you. You can't give you job security because that's too close. It's like having your therapist be your cousin or something. It's not good.
Is that problematic?
I think it can be.
Oh yeah.
I have job security at the ass.
I have seen way too many stories about somebody having a significant other's friend as a therapist, and then they find out their significant other is being told all the stuff they're talking about.
That where the girl's mother-in-law turned out to be her therapist. I forget. It had what's her name from the Devil Wears Prada. That's the one.
Glenn Close.
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. So under Janet's no good, very bad week, I realized at 11:50 New Year's Day that I had forgotten to pick up books from one of my homebound delivery people at 2 o'clock the day before.
That's a bummer.
We were running on. We had 200 holds, and you have to understand. Normally we get like 50, and so the entire library was running around trying to find these damn holds, and I completely forgot about it.
200 is a light
library
day for my
problem.
library.
Yeah, you have a much bigger library than we do.
Trash time! Whenever the tank's ready, weird questions to ask. Okay, don't judge me. These are just go-to ones I looked up on the internet. Is soup a cereal? Why or why not?
I never thought about it.
Are you trying to tear this guild apart?
Is cereal
I was
a
about
soup?
to say, is soup a cereal? Is soup a cereal?
Yeah, I was like,
no,
yes and- what?
but
No.
is cereal
No.
a soup? I think technically yes.
But his legs.
The soup
But
have
it's
to be-
lit. But it's
Do
like
they have to be hot?
I think it's gazpacho, yeah.
Gazpacho.
No, because gazpacho's cold. Yeah.
Huh.
I need to get closer.
They've definitely
Not
seen
all
us
soup
for
has
the
broth.
they're doing a whole line of sight, ideally.
I'm hanging out with Franny. No, come
Mark
back.
/ mute all. Oh
Are
my god,
sheets
this is an
blankets?
argument that Alex and I have had. So I make the distinction between a sheet and a blanket. Alex just calls everything blankets.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
there's
because
a
I
sheet
sleep
and a
with
blanket.
I do not sleep with a sheet. I kick the sheet off.
Ah,
So,
see?
so what is your
Blankets
definition of
only.
blanket, though?
Anything
Well, you
that
don't
covers
put
you
like
is
a sheet
blanket.
goes over a
Exactly.
mattress.
No,
What
because
have
Yeah,
I
but
done?
it doesn't matter. I used to sleep on a blanket and another blanket. Now I just sleep on thinner blankets. And then you call them sheets.
Who even are you
Thank you all
people?
so much for agreeing with me. I feel
Nah, Franny
feel-
agrees with me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think the difference is lie in weight and weave.
I mean,
Oh no, we
pineapple-
can't do the pineapple on pizza thing. We can't. It'll
My
destroy the
distinction-
guild.
Pineapple goes on pizza when there's jalapenos involved.
No, the
Pineapple
answer is
eats
never.
you.
Yes,
Okay,
pineapples are good.
I got a new one for you. Barbecue sauce on pizza.
Good.
Yeah.
Barbecue chicken? Yes.
Yeah, it's good
Mayonnaise on
pizza.
pizza.
No.
What?
God.
In God's name is wrong? Mayonnaise on pizza?
We've literally
No.
split the party.
All right.
That was my fault.
I know we don't have DKP, but you're being stripped of all of it regardless.
Dragon kill points. Oh boy.
Wait, okay. Who
Everybody.
are we attacking?
I didn't see the one on the left. That was my fault. I tabbed target
Yep.
to the wrong one.
We're just David
We're
is
killing cash is what we're doing.
David's off tanking the ads.
No, I just realized I was hanging out with the pets again.
Hunters in there tab targeting.
Okay.
Am I right, guys? I only
Sounds
say
like
that
things
because
fine.
I'm a tab targeter too.
I mean-
and so
I mean,
so-
Yeah, I
Just
mean, well, if you're an affliction warlock, you kind of have to. It's
Yeah.
that, or you are chasing your unit frames around the screen as mobs move.
yeah.
I don't know. Apparently, I can't tell the difference between David as lion or a spirit bear.
With the Gargon.
Just wait until I get the disco bear form, and then we'll look again.
God.
I'm guessing the point is to focus on the one that's glowing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too.
Yep.
Feels like a good assumption.
Ooh, that was spicy.
Got that revival trigger finger, don't worry.
While we're all getting carried through this trash by the tank and healing team, I do really want to give a massive shout out to the fact that we have 19 people in this raid and a 4 healer team got us through that Minerva fight. Like, that was really, really
Epic.
admirable work by the healing team. So I think they
Let's go.
deserve your
Two of the
shout outs
healers were
in
in
chat.
charge of anima things.
It's all gone and his
Should have given that to
Next
hunters.
time, tell us.
That's so many people.
Oh dear God.
That's a lot of trash.
What?
Well,
Let's take out the trash.
gonna
Should we
I don't
wait
know,
30
can we-
seconds till my wild spirit is up?
I was gonna say, can we trap a couple and like go down the stairs or something?
But I mean, they could drop
True.
BOE purples.
I don't know, but the big
The
one is
middle
main,
one is
so
immune.
kill them.
Yeah. I think the Gargan Riders are probably our best bets for trapping.
Okay.
I'm enjoying watching you all, like, essentially, it's like watching Olympic curling.
It feels like some low rent
Okay,
Elsa.
let's let the tanks pull them in.
Oh shit!
Oh,
They
no,
teleport.
he's already here.
Get out.
Oh, hi.
AoE's on the floor.
I accidentally
All right.
taunted.
Cleanse those things on them because they make giant explosions.
Whee! Well, this is a lot.
True, but the hunters seem to be
yeah.
having a great time.
That was fun.
Let's
Let's do it again.
Oh, the fun.
That was nuts.
More. Need more AoE.
Oops, second one's untrapped.
try and pull them together and clean them down
second
if you
group.
can.
Oh shit.
Yep. Stack them and whack them.
Well, you guys are telling me this about my stuff. Now, let me tell you about that. I don't know what I even just said right now.
At least you admit
You're
that.
so southern, even you don't understand what you're saying.
You've reached peak southern.
That was some good old frontier gibberish.
Yep.
I think an assassin just disappeared. It's going to show up again. There it is. It's going to show up again. There it is.
Telling me about phrasing, you just said stack them and whack them.
It's like they're trying to prepare you for the boss,
Oh, yeah.
telling you assassins are dangerous or something.
Go
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah,
Only get
strange.
Purple from any of that shit.
Is there anyone else in this raid remember doing heroic shattered halls for the first time?
Oh, please
Uh.
don't. No.
It's purple.
Why you do this?
It still makes my eye twitch.
Let's grab this group here on
Yep.
the left. Try and line aside them so just come stand behind the corner. Yep, move back behind the corner.
Yep, you need to be flat against the wall, folks.
Back sag.
Everyone.
Back sag. Sang, get to
There
the
are
wall.
no exceptions.
Sang, get to the wall.
Next time, if you don't get to the wall, we just won't heal you. And then we'll be good, because you'll die, and then everybody else will be at the wall.
Well, we're going to the right over here, so let's wait for this group to come closer. And they pulled. Oh god.
To the wall.
Alright, same
To
thing.
the window.
Against the wall,
to
please.
The wall.
Do not finish that.
Oh god.
And there's that trank for the save. Watch out for the trap.
This group of trap is definitely or group of ads is definitely the all these buttons you never use. Guess what? You're using them.
Yep. And this is a reminder, by the way, as we head towards Sun King Salvation. If you are a class that has healing abilities in your current spec and they are not on your action bars, please make sure you rectify that when we are preparing for the boss. We have 4 healers. The recommended ideal number of healers as a minimum for the fight we're about to attempt is usually around 6. So we're going to need some people to be a little proactive on helping to heal Kael'thas up. So Shamies, etc. I'm looking in your direction. If you have your healing abilities, just make sure they are accessible. I genuinely appreciate it.
You're a druid too, as well. I guess you just have to play that's not a tank. You can do your specialty as restoration, and then
If you're doing some tourism, that is the Council of Blood fight down there. So when we do eventually get to that, everyone's going to be doing a whole bunch of ballroom dancing.
You can
Holy
dance if you
crap.
want We could
You can
dance
leave your friends
anymore.
behind.
You can leave
Except
your
for if friends
pants
dance,
behind.
you know, dance.
Because if they don't dance, then there's no friends of mine.
Pants party. No.
You need to redo that song and make it be "If you don't dance, then you'll die," because that's the actual.
Because your friends don't
That's
dance,
the
and
fight.
if they don't dance, and they're all gonna die.
There
Nice.
we go.
You know, one of the ways they could have made this cruel over here is if they did a kickback to have you land over there with the other boss. Or, you know, somebody would use it, you know, abuse the privilege.
Back on the topic of the sacrilege, because I forgot to mention it earlier. I made peanut butter cookies with raisins,
You're
and they
mad.
were awesome.
Yeah.
Madness.
Where's the chocolate?
The only cookies raisin should go in is oatmeal.
Cool. Now we're gonna go over here to the right.
There
We're
we
gonna go
go.
up the stairs.
Follow the star.
Oh, I think I know I am on. Oh, there's a star over my head.
Oh, it's the accuser.
Yeah, she's been with us the whole time.
In Sun's words, j'accuse. So it's not as fun as when he does it.
Well, technically, I am a little bit French somewhere down the line. Also, fun fact: I'm descended from the McCoys, as the Hatfield McCoys. Also related to Andrew Jackson. Anyway, kill ball.
This mirror should prove useful for helping you move.
I got Roderick.
Stunned.
Holy trash, Batman.
Oh dear God.
Around the corners so they come to the tanks. Get to a corner.
Okay, I think they're packed.
There you
Epic heals there. Saw my health dropping like a stone.
Yeah, Golem has a tendency to make a BS amount of healing.
She's a machine. This is why I was like, you can no longer be charged. Back to Gallon.
Right.
Damn, another cloak.
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh, sweet. If you do not need it, go ahead and give it to me, or we'll get it to somebody that does need it. Okay, I will put a thing over my head.
Keeps his most potent souls in this chamber.
I'm the nipple.
Fuels their darkest instincts, forging them into weapons to turn upon his enemies.
Once I break these
Yeah, XQ makes a good point in chat actually, which is that if you do have healing abilities but you are a DPS spec, it might be worth making sure that you do have mana pot if you need it.
This one's pride and arrogance.
In which case,
They also have the rejuve pots, which give you the 10k health plus mana.
Yep.
So
I wish I could throw health stones at kill sloths.
Well, and then I think, right, even people who don't have any heals at all can use the pedestals.
Yeah, it'd just be OP because health stones recover 20% of health.
Yeah, too bad I can't throw my Crimson Vial also.
last call on the cloak. And it looks like it's going to go to Lion's Mane. If it does, let me know what enchant you need.
I will drop a guild bank over here on the left-hand side of this platform. If anyone needs to get the mana potions, let me know. Because if you've already got your max.
Yeah, we can get you some if we need. Alright, grats to Lion's Mane. What enchant do you need, my dude? Really close.
Do you want the spiritual clarity potion or the spiritual mana potion, Crystal? I got you.
Well, it's been kind of weird this week for the Covenant quest because they've all been about, if you're Venthyr, they've all been about Kael'thas. It's like, I haven't actually fought you yet, but you're here.
Yep. So, as the name of this fight implies, this is about us coming to the rescue of the very, very controversial Blood Elf Prince, Kael'thas Sunstrider, in the afterlife. As he's quite the prize. So, this fight is very interesting and a little different to most of the fights we're going to see in here because we're not really, despite the fact that he's the central character in this room, he's not actually a boss as such. There's no point at which Kael'thas himself is going to descend to the floor and start attacking us, which is what makes this fight a little strange. Instead, if you target him, he has a very, very low health pool. The reason for that is the aim of this fight is to heal him up to 100% and help him escape. So that's going to happen in a variety of ways. This fight is a balance of making our way through waves of trash, one of which is a unique trash mob you will see right in front of the platform, High Torturer Darathos. When he dies in this fight, he's gone forever. But the assassins, the occultists, everything else you see in this fight, we're going to get waves and waves of ads. We're also going to be helping the healing team. So the healing team is going to be keeping us alive, but also directing a lot of their healing energy as and when they can towards Kael'thas. And as his health rises, different things are going to happen. And we're also going to be able to help the healing team. So I'm going to take you through this step by step. One second. All right. So in phase one, we're going to be healing Kael'thas from 10%, where he is now, all the way up to between 40 and 50% when we transition into a secondary phase. We're going to get waves of ads in that time. Essentially, what's going to happen is people with healing abilities, obviously the healing team will be focused on keeping us alive and healing up Kael'thas. Those of you with extra healing abilities, what I want to make clear is, while we do want you to try and heal them up when you can, we do need to prioritize making sure all the ads go down. What we don't want, essentially, is that we hit the 40% point and transition into a phase, and then we get a wave of ads that we have to deal with at the same time as the next phase, because they will not despawn. You might be wondering what else you can do to heal them up if you're DPS and don't have healing abilities. If you notice, there are 4 pedestals in this room. You can see a little cogwheel if you hover over them. They should be pretty familiar if you've been around Revendrethus or like the big gargoyle-headed things. You can actually run up to those and you can right-click them and channel in front of them and heal Kael'thas by basically donating your health pool to his. The thing about that is that you are going to get a bunch of your life taken away, so you need to be really, really careful you're not actually leaving yourself so low that you're in danger of just being one-shot by another mechanic. But also, you're going to get a debuff I believe it's a 2-minute debuff in which you cannot use that pedestal or any other pedestal again. So the way we're going to try this fight essentially is just try and be proactive. If you're very high on health and you have a relatively straightforward way of getting it back, or you have good damage mitigation, and you have the time, you just want to run over to one of these 4 pedestals. You want to donate some health, and then you want to stop. If it should when you're channeling health into it, it's going to start stacking a debuff on you. Wait for that stack to hit between 2 and 3, whatever you're most comfortable with. You know your own class, you know your own survivability. So, and then just back off and head back into the raid and keep helping out with trash. But we essentially want people rotating in and out of doing that job because it helps. It's going to help the healers out because the more we can contribute, the less they have to kind of divide their attention. I can't promise you the blanket that Seng is advertising us in chat, but I can promise you my eternal gratitude. So, there are going to be a bunch of different ads, and they're going to do different things. We're going to talk about them because the difference between them is extremely important. These horrible fuckers on the outside of the room are vile occultists. If you can see, they're already doing horrible things to Sinstones. When they spawn in the room, and they will spawn generally on our side of the room in the corners, they're going to run towards the pedestals and Kael'thas, and they're going to start draining the life back out of him. They're the only mobs that can do that. So whenever these things pop up, and obviously we'll have DBM tracking all of this, they are going to be priority 1 targets. So they need to be stopped, CC'd, killed, nuked. They need to go down first. Yep.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I'm pretty sure it's the soul infusers that attack Kael'thas, not the occultists.
Oh, hold on. Let me check my map. Yes, sorry, soul infusers. There you go. There's like 15 variations of the same name in Castle Nathria.
Yeah.
So yes, the soul infusers will be the ones. They're going to spawn in the corners. So I'm going to tap them out. They're coming in from the corners that we're entering the room from, and they're going to just kind of move sort of diagonally and upwards towards that pedestal. But yes, thank you for that. We've also got Vile Occultists. Vile Occultists deal raid-wide shadow damage that applies a 35% damage taken debuff to a target for 15 seconds. That can be kicked. One of the big things about this fight is a lot of these abilities are kickable, so really make sure you're staying on top of your interrupts. Obviously, in the chaos of dealing with a lot of different targets, you are sometimes going to use an interrupt at the same time as somebody else, but that's okay. I mean, it's much like stacking in the bottle rings in the Enerva fight. You know, I'd rather 2 people did it than no one did it. They also deal a 1.5 second cast shadow damage spell that can also be kicked. They have Door of Shadows where they teleport to a random player. It's literally the Venthyr ability. There's not really much we can do about that. It can't be kicked or stopped. They're just going to appear somewhere else. It's not really a big deal. We'll just have to kind of adjust to where they pop up after that. However, when they die, they drop an essence font. It's going to look like the little gargoyle jars that sit on the floor in Revendreth. If you heal those up to full, that will give Kael'thas 1% of his health back. They do disappear eventually, so you can't leave it too long. So when we kill one, look for the jar, heal it up, and move on. The third priority target is the Rockbound Vanquishers. You've seen a bunch of these kind of things if you've done Halls of Atonement and Sanguine Depths. They are the giant, horrible gargoyle soldiers. The first thing is Concussion Smash. It's a 1 second cast. It can't be kicked. It's going to stack. It essentially deals raid-wide physical damage, and we're going to get a buff that stacks on him every time he does it. It's going to increase that damage by 25% every time he does it. So we basically just need to, when the vanquishers pop up, they are very physically big, so you'll see them very quickly. We will point them out, and we will nuke them down as soon as possible to avoid that stacking damage getting too high and wiping the raid. They also burst damage on tanks, and they stack a bleed on those tanks as well. So we're going to want the tanks to swap on and off between each other around 3 stacks to let those stacks drop off. We have assassins that are going to come in from the left and the right of the room. They can spawn basically anywhere on the left and the right walls. They look like the ones you can see either side of High Torturer Darathos. So there's sort of like the thinner sort of gargoyle shapes. They have an ability called Crimson Flurry, so they're going to mark several players. A few seconds later, they're going to then charge those players. If you get charged, you're going to get a bleed damage over time in an 8-yard AoE. So if you get marked, you basically just want to run out of the group so nobody else is getting that bleed dot apart from you. And around 30%, they're going to start casting a spell. It's going to take 8 seconds, and it will heal them back to 100% health. So anytime one of these drops to 30% and you see that cast start, you just want to focus all your DPS on getting them down and get rid of them before they can heal themselves back up to full. Otherwise, essentially, that fight will reset. There's a bunch of little annoying gargoyle, they're sort of, I don't know what to call them. They're like gargoyle babies. Children, mini, tiny suggestions in chat for what to call them. They're called pestering fiends, toddlers. But sure. They're gonna throw shattering rubies around. These are like little red projectiles. They're gonna throw one. It does 3-yard splash damage. So it basically just means that we want to stay. We don't want to like stand spread out all across the room, but you don't want to stack like right on top of, like we see Lion's Mane at the front here. I don't want to be stacked right on top of him. Ideally, I want to be stacked about this far away. And then that way, that splash damage isn't going to hit both of us. And when they die, they explode. So they do a 7-yard AoE. So they're essentially like every little horrible plague monster mob that you've ever killed in this game. Where you just kind of try not to stack up for AoE for any reason, and when they die, just make sure you're retreating fairly quickly. So we're going to get all of those ads. We're also going to get Darathos, but we're going to kill Darathos once, and we're never going to need to deal with him again. So while all of that is happening, we're going to be trying to heal up Kael'thas to 40%. When he hits 40%, he stops being healable, and a shade of Kael'thas is going to spawn in the room, right where he is, but on the floor. It's going to stay there, and it's going to be active until it hits 10% health. You're going to fight. We're going to be fighting him, and it's going to spawn 2 reborn phoenixes and any leftover ads from the previous phase. So as he is approaching 40% health, we want to make really sure that we have downed as many ads as we can possibly down before we push him into that phase, because otherwise we're going to have to do both things at once, and it's going to get a bit too chaotic. So the horrible little Phoenix thing, they basically just pulse a 6-yard AoE. It does moderate fire damage. The big thing is that when they die, they leave a permanent AoE pool of fire behind, because of course they do. For the Shade himself, he has a big fiery damage cone. If it does clip you, it's going to put a dot on you for about 12 seconds. So just sort of try and be aware of where he's facing when he goes to do that cone cast. When he reaches 100% energy, he is going to do a huge 40-yard frontal cone that inflicts really, really heavy fire damage. It's on normal difficulty, it just gets cast on the tank, but it's something that the healers need to be aware of, because it's going to dumpster that tank's health really, really quickly. He's also going to mark random players occasionally with a bomb that explodes 5 seconds later. So if you get marked, what's going to happen is everyone's going to hold hands, because it's a damage soak within an AoE. So it's kind of like the jump on Huntsman. So what's going to happen is you're going to get marked. I'm going to tell everyone to hold hands with you. and we're all going to soak the damage together, because if it's you by yourself, it's lethal damage, but if we get 10 people into the soak, we're Gucci. Yes. Also, yes, those phoenixes are called phoenixes for the reason they are going to resurrect themselves after a certain amount of time and start pulsing the AoE again. Thank you for pointing that out, Mark. So yeah, this is it's a very ads heavy fight. This is about learning the different abilities of these different ads, and then also managing the health system. Healers and tanks are not going to be on duty as far as clicking those pedals. The rest of us will be, so I do want you to be proactive. If you see a couple of people at pedestals and they're doing something right then, they're obviously channeling at the time, don't run over. But if you see people leaving and you get an opportunity, head over, donate some health. See, look at it as donating blood, do your part, and then head back into the fight. And then we will learn by doing. In terms of layout, neither can I, because I lived in the UK between in a specific spread of time, which means internationally I'm not allowed to donate blood. I have no idea why, but it sounds very scary. Oh yeah, Mag Houtsies, that was it. Which is weird because I'm just not a Tauran, so I have no idea what that's about. Okay, in terms of layout, if you look where High Torturer Darathos is, he has that kind of like wedge on the floor pan in front of him. We're mostly going to be spread around that sort of diamond area. It's going to give us a good amount of space because it means that everything's going to be running towards roughly where we are. Jeffrey, if you want to put a Warlock gate once we're up there and in the mix, by the rightmost pedestal, I will put one by the leftmost pedestal. And it just means if you run over there and you're like, oh shit, I need to get back in the fight, you can just take our public transport system and get there very quickly.
Are we pointing it pretty much from where Darathos is to the pedestals?
Yeah, essentially. Well, it's sort of from where we'll be standing. If you want to move to like the right side of where our huddle is, so no one accidentally clicks it, and then we'll go from there. We'll figure it out. But yeah, aside from that, think of this as Sun's trash session, but just a really long, complicated version of it. And then also we have to heal. Think of Kael'thas as that one raid member that always stands in the shit and always forgets to move out the beams, especially after they spent 10 minutes explaining mechanics. So if you basically imagine that it's me, you just kind of want to heal me to 100%, make sure that I survive the fight. All right. So yeah, and then tanks, obviously, I know you've done your homework as always, but feel free to pick up mobs as you feel comfortable with, and obviously use Discord to communicate with each other as you do so. This is very comms heavy fight between the healers and the tanks and myself, so try and keep Discord as clear as possible, especially when the tanks are communicating with each other, because giving them room to talk and making sure they know who's picking up what mob is going to be really, really crucial. All right, and if you haven't fought him in Burning Crusade, go back and do it. It's worth it, and you get a 0.02% chance at a really fancy mount. Okay, now we've done all of that. Let's go for attempt 1. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, if we down in the first time, that's great. But if we don't, we will give everyone a very let's I think we may need another. How are we on feast timing?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe one attempt, and then if we don't,
do we want to? Yeah, I tell you what. Let's do it. Let's do a brief 2-minute bio break. Make sure everyone goes to the bathroom. I'd rather not run into a new fight with people having to cross their legs. And during that time, we'll make sure that the feasts are getting put out and everything else is being dealt with.
add that real urgency.
Yep.
7-minute break, then we'll come back and do those things.
All right, let's go.
Did the food get dropped before the break started, or are we doing it after?
No, we're doing it afterwards.
Okay.
Five, four, three, two, one.
All right, folks. Let's run our ready check, and we'll make sure that everyone is back and good to go. All right, looks like everyone is here. Truff, you good?
Not yet. One bathroom, two people.
I'm back.
Alrighty, okay, let's get flasks and food sorted, and then we will move forward. Alright, food table is up. If you need to eat, eat.
I love that. That's what we're calling them now.
Sparkle Dragon?
Yeah.
Grabbing the cauldron now. Or at least I'm trying to. Right next to the food. Fuck.
You okay?
Yep, sorry, dropped something.
Yeah, the cauldron.
But
That was accurate, but horrible.
Don't forget your oil has probably run out as well. Your chest armor kit should be fine.
I think so.
Nope, they did not.
Huh. Trev, did you just get denied by the closing time of your own banquet table?
I guess
Do they not know you're the manager?
Kitchen's always open. We're good.
Alrighty. Alright.
Everybody grab a flask.
Looks like it.
Grab a second one.
I like the Jeffrey soup happening over here.
Yeah, it's me flavored.
Those people who are selling bottled bath water. Ugh.
Trouble.
I have a great flavor, I'll have you
You
know.
say great or grape? I'm thinking like Robitussin, like kids grape flavor. That
Both
feels like
now,
a
I
very
guess.
flavor. Anyone who has space for an extra flask, go ahead and grab one. We want to use up the cauldron.
Jeffrey, get out of the soup.
I like being in the soup.
Alrighty, folks. Let's move down a little bit into this room so you can kind of get a look at the space we're in. So it's a relatively big room, but not too big. You should be able to traverse it reasonably easily. The pedestals, you know, once you're up close, are not actually as far apart as they sometimes look. So yeah, this is just gonna be an adds heavy fight. We're gonna call stuff out as it's happening. Son, do you want to keep an eye on Kelthus's health overall while I look at mob spawns?
I will.
And then, yeah, we'll time it. We'll figure out the timing. We'll work through it together. It might take us a couple of tries to get into the rhythm of it, but we're going to give it everything we got. All right. So, the one thing that none of the materials that I have looked at have covered, so please feel free to correct me, is what exactly is going to happen when we engage here at the front. Because I'm pretty sure he stays alive and then we just tank him and take him down. And I'm assuming similar for the mobs at the side, but this game also has a habit of the moment you walk into the radius of a boss encounter, killing everything in the room and then restarting. So I guess we're going to have to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like none of the materials have covered the fact that they were. They said that Dorathius comes into the fight. They never said he was already going to be here. So I guess we're going to have to figure this out.
Should we engage him first then?
Yeah, let's head straight out the middle, engage him first, and see what the occultists do.
Yeah, because everything I was reading, like for tanks, was saying that the occultists are our priority targets, but
Yeah, I'm just not sure what exactly they're going to do. Okay, so everything says that he can be killed last. He just needs to be cleaved down. Okay.
yeah.
All right. In that case, do we want to go left and right, or?
Yeah, so I was going to take left side, and Lion was going to take right side, and then kind of thinking that the other ads will kind of figure their own stuff out, but we'll kind of bring them towards the middle as much as we can.
Okay. All right. DPS if we want to kind of split into two groups, then I guess. All right, so let's see. Just pick side, any side, and then we'll.
Yep. We're gonna try and tank them in the middle, but our ability to bring them that way is.
Yeah, if we're formed in squads, it'll be easier. Alrighty, let's hit the occultists, and then we'll see what Dareth is. I cannot say his name despite how Greek it sounds. All right, let's figure it out.
Okay. I'll do a pull timer.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so we can have the tanks head out. We'll head to center. The hunters can interrupt the occultists and pull them into the group between that and misdirect.
Cool. Does that work for y'all, hunters?
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
Okay. Cool. I can do like a little. I can be a ranged tank.
Do we want to? So there's 4 of them. There's 4 of us.
I got back
Do we each want to take one?
I got back left.
You got
I'll
back
do
left.
back.
I'll take
I got blue
front
side.
left.
Back right.
Yeah, so green for me.
All right. Cool. All right. I'm gonna do a pulled countdown.
That means Sing's got orange.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1.
Yep, we pull.
Perfect. Just interrupt them, get in the middle,
Okay.
move everything down.
Just remember, try and stay relatively spaced right now. And remember that you can interrupt these casts. If you get a big red ring around you, just make sure you're not standing on any. Okay, that return to stone is going, and okay, cool. Assassin down. Let's and then Assassin 2 is down. Those canisters on the ground can be healed. Castigation on folks. So big red rings, just want to spread out. Just Darathos to go.
Okay. Just picked up the Vanquisher. Or nope, Lion's Bane's got it.
Okay, Rockbound Vanquisher is up. I'm going to head over to a pedestal and donate some blood if someone wants to join me. There's another assassin coming in, and pestering fiends that need to be clustered and cleaved.
I'll join you.
I'm at
Join
2.
me too.
Okay, just remember, stop donating at 3 stacks. Heading back in.
Additional guards are en route. Ensure that their deaths are swift.
Okay.
The
Got
cultists
assassin
are coming
returning
in.
down.
Okay, burn the assassins down and deal with the occultists. Interrupt, keep them CC, keep them stunned. Do not let them get to Keltis. Another Rockbound Vanquisher coming in.
You can taunt. I've got 5 stacks of the cleave on, or the thing on me.
Come back closer to us. We cannot heal y'all up there.
Yep.
In the middle of the
Move
room.
back to the front of the room. Need folks to keep rotating out and donating health to Keltis. He is at 41%, so we need to get rid of all of these ads very, very quickly.
Granny, you're too far from healers.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull the occultists back, but
They can't be tanked. They can just be kind of directed.
Yep. Call for interrupts on them if you see them, because then they'll be brought to you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Shade of Kael'thas is up.
Assassin returned to stone.
Soul Infusers are heading towards the pedestals. Okay, the Shade is up.
Okay. Taking him over to the corner.
Okay. Get the Infusers down as fast as possible.
I've got assassins on me too.
If you grab
I'm
this
gonna
thing,
help
I'll
out.
just bring out that 5 stack.
Alright, yeah, it's the Assassins are healing back up to full. Alright. Assassin down. I know we're heading for a wipe, I'm well aware. I just think it's good to just see what's happening. Yep.
When the tanks are kind of like kiting him around, everybody should be behind the boss, kind of grouped up together. Because you see how this fire is spread out all over the place? That won't go away. So while the tanks are kiting him towards the edges, we just need to stay tight right behind the boss. And that also keeps the focused phoenixes all focusing the same way. And then they won't spread their fire out quite as much.
Alright, let's just wipe into the... Yeah, run to the stuff and wipe it. Alright, so that was educational. Are we heading straight up here, son?
Yep.
Okay.
We haven't unlocked the things yet.
So, thoughts? I mean, my immediate one was just that the assassins seem to be going well. I think the problem is when we get like multiple overlaps of multiple spawns, it starts to get a little chaotic. But we also didn't know what was going to happen right at the start of that fight.
I had 2 of the guys who fill up or take health from the bars. I had to kill 2 of those by myself.
Yeah, I was up there with you as well. Also, another thing I noticed, we had people dying to Ember Blast. That's the big fiery ring. That's the thing that we're supposed to hold hands for. Don't run away from people when you have that.
I was trying to run over to help take down some of the Animus Siphoners, and I forgot to call out that I had that.
No, I'm not trying to like single you out as well. I'm just saying, several people I noticed, because normally you see a big thing around you. I'm like, get it away from people. But no, that's the thing we have to, stack up for.
That's partially on me. I should be calling that out.
The phoenixes can be stunned, slowed, CC'd. We don't need to kill them. They just need to be crowd controlled so that they don't get any closer than 6 feet to us because they do an AoE. Other than that, they're just a nuisance and focus on people and leave fire behind. But if we're all grouped up directly behind the bosses and Franny and David are tanking them along the edges and we're going very, very slowly along the edges, as long as you're keeping them CC'd behind us, they're staying 6 feet, we're fine. We don't need to worry about them. You can focus all your DPS on the bosses and any extra ads that are up, and then we are already staying together for stuff like that.
I'm putting food at the top of the stairs, folk.
All right, let's make sure everyone is good. Alrighty. So yeah, in terms of priority, the infusers do come in later. So we're going to get Dorathios first. I've left him out of the priority list because it's just kind of obvious that we need to get rid of him, but there's only one of him rather than him kind of appearing repeatedly. For me, the reason the assassins are a little further up is because some of them will, like, one thing I noticed was some of them will tick over beneath 30% without us noticing due to dots or cleave damage or anything else, and then they will heal themselves back up to full before we've even realized it's happening, which isn't a mechanic that any of the other mobs have, which is why they worry me. But open to input, but yeah, that's my feeling on them. Was just I watch them keep trying to heal themselves, and then when they do succeed, it means that they'll carry over into the next fight. So it's nice to have like a sort of like a laser beam focus on them to get rid of them. But yeah, the infusers are top priority when they do spawn is the thing. So for this one, sorry, go on.
Did we get infusers that time? I couldn't pay attention.
Yes.
We did, yeah. Towards the end.
Ideally, we have the healing done before 1 minute and 45 seconds in, which is the infusers will come in at 2 minutes. So if we can get enough heals from everybody, we won't get the infusers, and that's the suggested way of killing this. So making sure that you are siphoning on the little platforms that you are doing your extra heals if you have the ability to do that is much more important because, again, we don't want to get to those mobs. The recommended time to get swapped to phase 2 is 1 minute and 45 seconds. The infusers do not come out until 2 minutes.
Yeah, the other thing I would point out as well is that we want to make sure that people are clicking on the soul pedestals. So when we start this fight, if people want to just run up and click them and then head back into dealing with trash, what we'll do is let's take out Darathos and the 2 assassins as a priority first. Then we will switch to dealing with the occultists and everything else that spawns. At the point at which Darathos and the assassins are dead, I would like 4 people to run to the pedestal and do a wave of blood donations, and then we'll start cycling through.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right. This is like one big trash fight, which is strangely relaxing. It looks like complete chaos, but if there's one thing we're doing right, it's that when we're focusing our DPS, we're absolutely fucking melting these things. And that should be obvious to everybody.
If you see the canisters on the ground too, DPS, you can heal those up instead of Kelface, and those will also heal him, the little canisters, and they'll get rid of them, and then there won't be a pulsing AoE coming out of them. That's helpful as well if you see them and you have the mana to dump your heals into, and they don't take a lot of healing.
So yeah, and then as the last thing to reinforce, so we'll be the Bleakwing Assassins and Darathos, we're going to deal with those up front of the tanks. The Occultists are just going to ignore the shit out of Franny and David and teleport all over the room and mess with people. So the big thing for them is just making sure that we're DPSing them down and interrupting them, and then letting the tanks focus on picking up Vanquishers whenever possible and any of the smaller adds so we can cleave them down.
Okay, so I think we can pick up the occultists. It's the infusers that we can't pick up.
So I think with the occultists, because they're so kind of crazy, I think they should kind of be hunter priority to misdirect onto a tank. That way the tank doesn't have to run all the way out from the middle.
Okay.
Yeah,
that just,
I agree.
That
That's
just seems
a
like
much better way.
Okay. Alrighty.
We'll take
And
triangle.
they will come in where they're marked from. So we have 4 hunters. They're all marked. So
All right. Pull countdown.
Sure. So Darathos first, and then we will start pulling down the assassins. I'll mark one with a skull. So it'll be that assassin first after Darathos. Remember, if you're getting greater castigation, just move out of the group. Okay, those assassins are going down at roughly the same rate. One of them is casting Return to Stone. Both of them are. Let's nuke them down. One is dead. The other is dead. Let's get rid of Darathos and focus on the occultists. Okay, move with the skull. So if you see a skull over a mob, that's where you want to be focused. Rockbound Vanquisher is coming in. So let the tank pick it up, focus on the occultists, and start donating blood. This is much cleaner. Okay, let's heal those jam jars up. You can even bandage them if you feel especially cheeky. Alright, let's start taking down the Vanquisher as priority, and then bringing in those Festering Fiends. We've got Assassins coming in from the side as well. So Vanquisher first, then we're bringing those Assassins down. Alright, let's burn them down quickly before that starts stacking and kills us.
More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
Crimson Flurry on me, moving away from the group. Shade of Caithless is coming in. Vile Occultists are also coming in. So I need to be ready to pick everything up. Elder Caithless has spawned. Need a tank to pick him up.
Phoenix the Edge.
I'm taking
Either
him
is
to
fine.
orange.
Okay.
Even further, closer to the edge, and everybody get behind the boss. Now take him right along the edge. Need stuns and slows on these ads.
Yep. The ads are still a priority. We've got Occultists from the last phase that aren't dead yet.
And the last one we...
Do we
Stack
have a
on
Rocktown Vanquisher up? Are we okay?
No, we just lost a bunch of people to AoE. The Occultist is still up at the back of the room.
And I'm down.
Alright, let's just wipe and restart.
So Franny and David, whichever one of you picks up the boss, I would head to like one of the corners over by like yellow or blue and start like way in the edge and tank it along the edge around the back of the room so all that AoE gets spread out there and not in front.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, that first phase, that sort of 0 to 40%. I mean, the first obvious thing is that phase goes a lot quicker than you think it would. So we just kind of need to be very focused. The ads were coming down a lot better. I was a lot smoother, and I think part of that was just knowing what they did, having a definitive approach, and then just making sure we're focusing on the same ones all the time. So when the embers spawn, like, we need to be holding hands. If you've got it, then, you know, if you see that big fiery circle around somebody, you need to be running in. It's the same as the huntsman fight.
When it hits, it goes off in literally 3 seconds, so there's very little chance to call it out. I got it.
The person that gets it can, like, try to find friends. I died from it because nobody was around me, and that just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it's the main benefit of when Smoke says that we want to kind of like start stacking up behind that boss. One of the big benefits of that is we're already in a big group, so we have more room to just kind of stack in and hold hands on that.
We went the wrong way.
We went the wrong way. On
We
the plus
went
side,
down the downstairs.
we didn't run into trash.
Yeah.
So there's that. Hopefully. The food will still be hot when we get there.
Universal law of leftovers. It's always better the second time around.
Right.
I think the biggest challenge for us as well is just making sure we've also got a smooth transition into that second phase. So what we may need to do potentially is possibly slow down a little bit on the Kael'thas healing directly to give us enough time to mop it up and then manually push him over into that second phase. Because if he because sometimes everyone will get, we'll heal up all the jam jars, everyone donates to the pedestal, everyone heals, and that's like a flat 50 to 60 seconds before he's in phase 2. And then sometimes it's just mostly people healing Kael'thas directly, and then the difference is about a minute. So we never quite know when we're going to transition in. So maybe it's worth approaching it as a let's tip him over into this phase if possible. Well, I mean, it's obviously up to the healing team really, because you're going to be the logistics folks on this more than I am.
I think we would be fine as far as like, we just need to get everybody grouped up. As soon as like it switches, everybody needs to be able to know that you're gonna have to be behind Kiltheus. So ranged can be still behind and mopping up all the extra ads. Sorry. So anyway, range can still be behind and mopping up all the extra ads, and then range can be working on. Melee can be working on the ads. The boss while we're all behind, and then everyone needs to be focusing on ceasing and slowing those phoenixes so they stay 6 feet more and more behind us. So as soon as those phoenixes pop up, slows, stuns, all of that need to be on them so that they do not get close to us. And then everybody gets behind the boss, and then all of the ranged clean up the extra ads. Because if we're grouped up, we can heal a lot easier, we can soak a lot easier, and it keeps all of the fire together.
Are those phoenixes considered beasts?
That I do not know.
I can find out.
Now is not the time to try and tame a phoenix.
I think more for scare beasts.
No, I can put them in a cage if it's a beast.
They're classed as elementals.
Damn it.
There's also another reason you don't want to be anywhere but behind the boss, because in front of the boss, he does a fiery strike. It's a cone of damage, and it hurts, and it will hit you from pretty far away. On top of that, once he hits 100 energy, he does blazing strike, which again, it'll be aimed in front of him towards the tanks. The best thing they can do is aim it at a wall, but it's not guaranteed because they're going to have to be kiting him pretty quickly so that we all stay out of the fire. So it's a lot of work for the tanks to keep him kited. So if we stay behind and do our job, it's a lot better. And like I said, those ads should never get close to us. They should be CC'd behind us quite a ways. And then if we're all stacked up like that, that Ember Blast is not a problem.
Fail if they're
Also-
Oh, sorry.
No, one more thing. If you get Ice Block, there's several classes. According to a couple of the sources that I saw, like, we don't have any mages, but they could Ice Block it, rogues can vanish. One of the things I read said hunters can feign death out of it, so I would try that.
Okay,
Alrighty.
a fail. I was just gonna say, since they're elementals, we might be able to try banishing the phoenixes.
They may be immune, but we can always try it. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you waste a global cooldown, so...
Because that's a solid 30-second stun if they don't.
Yeah, alright.
All right. Shall I pull countdown?
Sure. Alright, so Darathos first. And then the assassins are pretty much getting cleaved down at the same time, so just remember we're burning those down as fast as we can after 30%. Castigation, so just move out if you've got it. Good job. Alright, burning those assassins down. Good job. Okay, Darathos next. Moving out. Okay, occultists. Diamond is pretty low. Let's take that one out. Okay. Jam Jar's on the floor, and Vanquisher is in. Alright, really burn this one down because we don't want this to stay. Okay, little mobs are in, so bring them in and cleave them down, and then we will push them over.
38%.
Assassins in. Any ads aggro on you for any reason, run towards a tank.
40%.
Vanquisher almost done.
He's about to go over.
Okay, alright, let's nuke these assassins. Get ready to pick up the shade.
Cultists are up.
Okay. Focus the occultist down.
And there's a Vanquisher.
Yep. Okay, let's just push Kelthus up then, because it seems to not be triggering it for you.
Yeah, it said 40. I think it's 45 now. Yep.
There
40.
it is.
Alright,
Okay,
well, now we know.
Okay.
Alright, all DPS still focused on Vanquisher, please. Alright, we're getting more ads.
CC those ads.
Ember Blast.
Okay, on Truff. There we go. Now we soaked. Move out the AoE. He's about to do his cone attack. Moving out. Vanquisher is down. Pestering Fiends is still up. Assassin is still up. Assassin is skulled on the other side of the room.
Where'd it go?
It vanished. We'll grab it when it pops back up. It's back up.
I'm down.
Ember.
Let's get that assassin down before that return stone cast goes up. Great job on interrupting that. Okay, Shade of Chaothis. Let's move into the side of the room. We are clear of ads. Okay, you need to move right in behind the thing, bar that assassin. Okay, everyone stacked up. Okay, Phoenixes are back in, so they're going to be dropping AoEs behind them. Alright, I'm stacking up on people. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. I'm just kiting this Phoenix around because it's not really letting me do anything else.
We might need to just kill them.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like we have the right stuns.
Kill them at least once.
Well, now we know it's 45%, and we could have pushed him over at the exact right time if we had known.
Robert Lancashire is in.
More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
Oops, soul infusers are up. Okay, they're immune to CC.
More of those fools seek to hinder us. Do not allow them to interfere.
Just watch those big red orbs.
More of those fools.
Okay, little lads and assassins.
Do not allow them to interfere.
Surely you can do better.
Alright, I think that's it. Okay,
Another interruption from the castle
well,
guard.
shout out to multiple sources for getting the 40% thing wrong. But that was a lot better in terms of pushing it over and dealing with the ads. Yeah, we'll just have to keep the Phoenixes down. I mean, they ignore tanks and they fixate on specific people. I think if they fixate on you, if you can guide them away from where the raid is standing, I found that to be kind of helpful. And they're very slow, so it's not a thing that you're screwed on if you can't sprint or anything.
Now remember, you go up the stairs, not down the stairs.
The music here is really good.
The other thing I noticed is, yeah, so they can be kited around. And going from the whispers I'm getting, we're just, things people have noticed that we can do. It looks like they actually have very, very small health pools, those phoenixes, so we can actually just kind of nuke them down and then keep moving until they pop back up again, which is nice. They're also very easy to notice when they are back up, because I got like a fixate line direct to my body the moment it respawned, which was very helpful. We did a lot better on stacking, which I'm pleased about. The difficulty was we had an assassin over at the other side of the room. So I think if the shade spawns and we have like one of those mobs on the other side of the room, I think we'll just we'll have the range deal with it and let the melee get into range for shade, because it's not possible to have melee over on the other side of the room, because I think, as I saw Jan learn the hard way, you just end up getting like absolutely blasted.
Yep.
I cannot express how lost I am right now. I went the exact way that we went earlier, but now there's mobs there.
Go right.
Oh, right, just straight. Yep.
Follow the
Okay,
bouncing
yep.
frog.
The big thing about that AoE, though, is when it does go off, like the AoE it leaves behind is huge and is killing people. So when we do stack, I think what we're going to have to do is the person that gets it on them is going to have to like duck backwards out of the group a little bit. We're going to have to run to stack on them, and then everyone's going to have to vacate. Because otherwise we end up with a pool that's so big that we have to run through it in every possible direction.
Yeah, that was something that surprised me, is how big the pool it leaves behind, It seems bigger than the target circle, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, it's massive. Like, it's a good 20-30 yard AoE versus what seems to be like a 7-yard AoE for the soak. Yeah, so it crawls out, so it does spread faster than some of the others that we've seen in Shadowlands, but not too fast. Okay, so what we've learned is it happens at 45%. So what we did last time, had we done that at 45%, I think we would have been in a much better position, because we would have come in, we would have boiled down all the AoEs, and then we would have pushed it over. I think we did very well there. And then it's just going to be a case of then learning phase 2, getting that Kael'thas shade down to the point where he despawns, and then we rotate back to phase 1. And we will simply follow that until he is up to 75%, at which point we will do phase 2 again, and then we'll push him the rest of the way. And yeah, my oil just ran out, as a reminder to everybody else. Ditto flasks, potentially. I also really big shout out to the DPS team on absolutely dumpstering the assassins. Like, hasn't been a problem since the first pull. Those are going really, really well, so great job on that. All right, no other thoughts, concerns, we'll plow in on another attempt.
Five, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1.
Those traitors.
All right, so hold on, Darathus. Castigation and Crimson Flurries move out. Okay, one of the assassins is doing Return Stone, burn it down. The other is doing the same. Good job. Lots of AoE opportunities here. Rockbound Vanquishers coming in. Holy shit, those mobs went down fast. Good job. Just keep an eye out for those jam jars on the floor. Thank you for donating blood. I appreciate it. Okay, burn the Rockbound down.
Another interruption from the castle guard.
Little lads are coming in, so we're going to group those up, pull them to the tanks, and cleave them down. Assassins are coming in again. You've got Crimson Flurry, make sure you're moving out of the group.
42%.
He's about to be pushed.
Okay. Vanquisher is almost down. Vanquisher is basically down. Alright, Assassins.
Assassins casting Return to Stone.
Okay, both of them are down. Get rid of the fiends, and we will push him.
That Vile Occultist.
Occultists. These will be easier to deal with than a big thing. So, Ember Blast is going to start happening. We're getting one in 6 seconds. So start grouping up, because we're going to need to stack.
Got him in the corner.
Group up behind the boss. There we go. It's on Esri. Group up, group up, group up. Okay, watch that AoE.
Starting to kite.
Okay, there's a Phoenix behind us, so we need to get that down.
Casting Rallying Cry.
Good job on Phoenix. Alright, stay on with Shade. Remember, right, everyone on Mage. Do not jump out. If people are trying to stack on you, do not suddenly run forward. Okay, if Phoenix is back out. Alright, stack on Pygmy. Good job. Alright, spread out, move out of that AoE. Okay, Phoenix is starting to gain on us. We're going to start dotting it and bringing it down.
Ouch. I'm very bad.
Okay, we will try and compensate. We've got a B-res coming in the near future.
Okay. I do think we can transition.
Okay, we're transitioning. We've got Rockbound Vanquisher coming into the room. AoEs are starting to clear up. Rockbound and go. 47 seconds until we have battle res.
Additional guards are en route. Ensure that their deaths are swift.
Infusers.
Okay, infusers. Alright. Just make sure you're dotting these up if possible. Range damage, try and bring them down. Yep, good job. Keep bringing that Vanquisher forward, that's fine. Alright, great. Let's take care of the Vanquisher. Little Pestering Fiends and Assassins are both coming in now. Donate blood if you can.
Res up.
Just remember to stop donating after 2 or 3 stacks.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Alright, if you get Crimson Flurry, run out of the group.
Ezri, if you can throw
Okay.
Stam my way, that'd be awesome.
Another Vanquisher.
Picking up.
69%.
Thank you.
Nice.
Okay, we're pushing for 90. It's 90. So let's just stay on this. Start dotting them up, but keep your focus on the Vanquisher. That's priority 1.
I can move it. Maybe.
You okay on stacks, Frank?
Probably want to. Okay, if you want to taunt.
Okay, get ready to switch to Occultists. Assassins are coming in. Just want to burn these Occultists down and pivot to Assassins. Okay, we've got little buggers as well. Crimson Flurries, run out if you need to.
Another interruption from the castle guard.
Okay, move out if you've got Crimson Flurry.
87%.
Okay, Rockbound Vanquisher is in. We want to take these assassins down, and then we're going to pivot, and we're going to burn this Vanquisher.
89.
90. So there it is.
Okay, Shield of Kael'thas. We need a tank ready to pick the shade up.
Okay, I have the
Okay,
Vanquisher.
we've got
right?
infusers up as well.
Okay.
Who wants to take the
Shaders are almost no health at all. Yep. David's got him.
Okay.
Just keep killing these soul infusers. Phoenixes need to go down also.
I have 4 stacks of Vanquish. Do you want to try and...
Yeah, let's right now.
Yep.
You want to swap? Okay.
Yep. Lust if we haven't done it. Good job. Stay on it. Stay on it. We need to get this Vanquisher down. Good job. Okay, there's 2 occultists at the back of the room that's spamming into the group. Just remember you can interrupt. So just keep them locked down with interrupts. We need the shade moved closer to a wall just in case he cones. Right, move out the Ember
You guys
Blast.
are so out of mana, so do what you can.
Yep, I'm down.
Yep, use your cookies. Just need to take this shade down. Phoenix is up. I'm just going to start kiting it. He's at 3%. Use your cookies if you gotta. Working on this Phoenix.
I'm down.
Beans.
Oh.
Damn it.
That was close.
Oh.
That was very close. I mean, it's at 1%. If you're feeling spicy, I'm all for it, Sangan.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Shit!
Nice
job, guys.
Bravo! Shit.
That was
Use touch of death,
spicy
didn't
as
you,
fuck.
Carver?
Oh, that was some spicy bullshit.
And batteries.
All right, great job, folks. That got very, very messy at the end, but over future kills we will refine it. But yeah, great job, everyone. That was my adrenaline levels was through
That
the
was
roof.
batshit.
Carver, you want a mass rest, bud?
Yeah, sorry, I'm still a little shocked, but yeah.
Yeah.
The loot is
Running.
Anima.
Nice
Yep,
memory.
Anima.
Please give me stuff. I'm
on the
almost there.
memory
I'm so
gun.
close.
Ooh.
Almost never get stuff. I want
Conduit.
stuff.
Cool.
Oh my god, y'all.
That was nuts.
Wow, after the previous fight where we got like 5 drops, now there's
There's still a lot
2.
of people running back.
There's still people running back.
Yeah, and there's a couple of people, if you don't need what you got, just trade with me and I will dole it out.
Really did not think that was going to happen.
Carver, you used Touch of Death, didn't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
So
thought I had
odds,
actually seen.
Go, doink.
I thought the DBM thing had hit and said it was over, and then we won. Holy shit!
I'm proud to say I lasted until he was down to 1%, and then I super died.
Well, I almost died, so I used my cookie, and then I had to use my potion, and right after I said that, Smoke said that they were out of mana. So I'm like, oh shit.
I kept getting exploded by people's stuff.
Ooh, you got a weapon there. Skull.
Yeah, nice.
I'll give you 100 gold for it.
If it wasn't an upgrade, I genuinely would.
Congratulations.
Just as a reminder for people, yeah, and this is a good habit to get into, and genuinely, I do want to reinforce what Smoke says. It really, really isn't an issue. If you're running a mythic or you're doing PvP, or you're at raid night and you get a new piece of gear and there's an enchant that can go on it, just let us know. If you're not sure what kind of enchant is best, just look up your class and your spec, and then if need be, your roll, and we will get that enchant for you, and then we can just mail it over because it's on vellum.
Yay, Kobe!
Congrats, Kobe. Yeah, Icy Veins has really nice spec guides. It also lists, because you're all going to be at an eye level now where people are looking to pivot from focusing on pure eye level to focusing on the best in slot. And Icy Veins has really good tables for both Castle Nathria and all the mythic dungeons that will show you which dungeon your best in slot is dropping from and which raid boss. So, and if you're ever not sure, you need further advice, or the Wowhead and Icy Veins guides have given you most of an idea, but you're not entirely sure, or you just want to have a chat about it, feel free to reach out. This is it's not like a closed door education system.
This is a caster trinket only. It's got intellect on it, so
a healer trinket.
Keep that in mind. Technically,
that's amazing.
It can be for anybody, because it can be if an ally suffers lethal damage, it'll trigger on them instantly. So
I'm gonna let the healing team roll on it, especially after tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that we heal it.
Yeah, this yeah, Fat Boss themselves did this with 6 healers on normal and did not think it was enough. We did it with 4.
Because we're badasses. Hey yo.
Jokes on those cockney bastards.
It's an
I tell you what, though,
unless somebody suffers lethal damage, and then it's instant.
one thing we did miss out on tonight that we normally do get, but I think we were kind of too focused in one direction to remember, is we did not get an RNGesus prayer. But I wouldn't mind an RNGesus conclusion statement. I don't know if that's the right phrasing, but Emily, if you were
last call,
we got some good BOEs.
I think
there were weapons.
I think rather than calling RNGesus a punk ass bitch, I think we deserve a prayer of thanks. So if I can get some meals, please. Okay. RNGesus, we have found salvation this evening. We have had some excellent loot drops. We have had some excellent teamwork. And I want to thank you for channeling your divine power, especially through your motherfucking 4 healers who did this where Fat Boss needed 6, because we have the best healers. We have some badass DPS. We have some absolutely fantastic tanks, and we could not have done this without your random blessings. So just keep doing that. We'll keep being awesome. In randomness name, let chaos reign. Amen and Ayo.
No.
Hey guys, that trinket, it's
Oh my God,
literally
you're
a
right.
phoenix down.
Oh,
Yeah, it's look at it. Look at it. It's like that's why it's a resurrect thing. It's a
Awesome.
phoenix down.
Seriously though, we did it with 4 and Fat Boss needed 6. That should tell you exactly how awesome our healers are.
that's awesome.
All right, folks. It's 2 hours and 41 minutes into the raid. The next fight on this list is just more mechanically complicated than this is in a way. So we're gonna call it here for tonight and just kind of give people a chance to ease back and relax. There's no point in spending 19 minutes roughly on a brand new boss when it's going to take most of that time to clear trash and explain it. So obviously we have a raid up on Wednesday, one day after reset, in which we will be clearing bosses that we have cleared before. At this point, Shriekwing, Huntsman, and Blueberry, Hungering Destroyer, take about an hour and a half, maybe even less. So I think the goal will probably be to do those 4, and then we'll see how we are on time, and then we'll move on potentially to other bosses that we have killed previously, but we want to make sure that Sundays are for guild first kills.
And do make sure that you sign up, please. It helps us out so much.
Yes. You can also sign up via the app, which I find helps me out a lot if I sometimes
Get out.
just go into the calendar bit and make sure you're registered. It just means we can balance the number of healers versus the number of DPS.
I mean, apparently it doesn't fucking matter, but it actually does.
Well, yeah, but you guys were almost completely out of mana, if not right out of mana the last 15, 20 seconds.
Oh, we were out.
I mean, I was like halfway through the fight, honestly.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
so out of.
I'm guessing more healers would have been less likely out of mana.
I used
That's
my
what I love about
sleeping
healer.
potion, which is like,
oh wow,
made me go to sleep so I could have enough mana. Yeah.
I did the worst thing I've ever done to make sure I could maximize my DPS when I thought we were close to getting it, but maybe wiped. Which was there was a Inferno AOE that got planted on Thwacky next to me, and I was like, I had a split-second choice of if I stand in this, I'm dead. If I don't stand in this, I have 10 seconds more DPS before I die. And we're both going to die if I stand in it. So I just quietly took one step to the right out of the AoE, and then just kept going. Which was...
The main thing I love about my palette is that I don't burn mana as hard as they do. But I kept dying. Just like half a second before I could cast Bubble.
There was... Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say I fell rushed to try to get back behind him, and I ended up fell rushing into a corner surrounded by bad stuff. So I was like, I'm done.
Nice.
And then I died.
One thing I was surprised about is I don't know if you noticed this as well, Fail, but my dots were still ticking even after I died.
Yeah, it's because as long as you're still physically there, basically.
That's cool.
Which is nice if you have permanent corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get really annoying with that. So you're just kind of endlessly contributing. It's good in PvP, but confusing because you start to see damage numbers that are 400 yards away from you after you respawn. Alright, folks. You're free to go about your evening, so I'm going to kick back and relax and start a new job tomorrow, I guess. So
good luck.
Thank everybody for... Oh, sorry, go on.
I do have one raid question.
Yeah.
I can look it up probably, but when you're clicking on those side things to, for the 15-second cooldown so you can heal him, if you move, does it break?
Yes.
I would assume so.
Okay.
Channel.
I
It does,
thought so.
and
I
if
just wanted to make sure.
if somebody else clicks on it while you're doing it, they also break your thing.
Ah, that explains it. I think me and somebody else ran up at the same time.
It's all about patience and waiting your turn.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.